Hey everybody, it's your girl PJamma with PJamma Life. And today we are here to talk about three different things. This week we have The Bad Batch, we have Loki, and we have Army of the Dead on Netflix. So, you know who I am. Let's see who these other two codgers are. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, hello, everybody. This is David. Can't wait to talk to you about these three things. One of them, a little bit more surprising as to how good it was, in my opinion. So can't wait to chat with you.
Well, hey, everybody. This is Patrick. I am ready to talk about all these things. They were really good. I thought for the most part, we'll get into it.
Yeah.
Pan's making a face. Pan's making a face. Oh my God! Already.
Yeah. One of these things is not like the other.
True.
So why don't we, and it's solidarity with our LGBTQIA folks out there. I'm wearing my last shirt for Pride, which, if you know, executive realist all the way. So why don't we get started with The Bad Batch?
Cad Bane at your service.
You'll be sorry when my friends come for me.
You will go to our abandoned facility on Boravio. Bring the bounty hunter his payment and recover our property.
Finnick Shand.
Omega! Omega, are you there? Omega!
I don't know where I am.
I know, kid! We're coming for you!
Wow, lots of excitement this week and a glimpse of my favorite people, although not so favorite now, the Kaminoans. Why don't we start off with David? What did you think of this episode?
Again, I think the series has been fantastic. If you've been following along, you might say, and depending on your love of Star Wars, you might be a little irritated, but there is a real parallel, it seems, in some places here with what's going on with the Mandalorian. When you have the rogue fighters taking care of this young person who can't take care of themselves, has something very special about them that makes them a prize to the Empire, to the bad guys. And so there's, you might think, well, it's a little bit too much like that story. But if you don't think about that, this is, again, fantastic. I love we see another sign of Finnick Shand here. Now it's like, all right, she's definitely in that gray. So she was kind of a good guy, helped spur things on. We got a little bit more to see the intelligence behind Omega as she was able to escape momentarily from Cad Bane. I thought this was fantastic. And after watching it a couple of times, I loved the seed. I'm not sure exactly what planet, what world they were on, but this kind of Bespin-like floating city spots, really gorgeous in the design of them, and so some of background from an imagery standpoint, loved where they were. So I thought that was really kind of fun. But another good episode. Don't want this show to end. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, we got quite a few more episodes, so this will go all the way until mid-August. So 16 episodes.
Need that.
Yeah,
desperately.
so it's we got a lot more story to get through. Pat, what did you think?
Like David, I thought it was a real good episode. I mean, overall, they've done a really good job of managing the Star Wars universe, where they've put together a good cohesive story. They're actually bringing in other properties, obviously, the Filoni-verse, where they're bringing in, characters from the Clone Wars. It was really enjoyable. It was good to see that there are two Camoan power structures going there. You got the one that's trying to recover Omega to make her a tool of the Camoans, and then there's other ones trying to protect her a little bit, which you got to see a little bit of that. So it was really awesome. Well done as usual.
Yeah. And I just, you know me, I just love whatever actors are playing the Kaminoans, that plummy, luscious voice they have. I just love hearing them talk, any of them. So I'm glad to see them. And I'm glad to see Tim Windsor. Hey, Tim Windsor, our longtime supporter. Glad to see him joining us today. But I thought the episode was really good. I thought that bringing in the shades of gray for, multiple characters this time was really good. Because I feel like, sometimes in animation you get black and white, or with some of the anime, it's just like gore, ugh. And so I like the approach that this universe is taking, this Star Wars universe is taking, where the characters aren't so simplistic. You have various motivations that still stay true to the complexity of the Star Wars universe. So I really but it's true to their characters. Lama Su and the Kaminoans, they were there to make a product and push it out. And she is the next development in their product. And so, the prime minister is right along with his character of profit over anything. So, but it was good to see that. I'm not sure what the other good Kaminoan, let's call her Cammy, that Cammy, I was glad to see that she is still kind of sticking with her character too, of trying to protect Omega and the Bad Batch. So she, I think, shows some compassion for the creations. But did you guys catch that Boba Fett was Alpha and then she's Omega?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming then that they're twins, kind of genetic twins, and that she then, but would the female clones then be able to have babies and more clones, and so that would then keep their product going? I mean, I just thought that was a nice little kind of continuation of the Star Wars to bring Boba Fett into it, that they were actually. But then I was kind of confused because I was like, how can she be a genetic identical to Jango Fett if she's female? It can't be an identical match. It could be, like a child. So you would have then similar genes, but not the same. So, anyway, that was just kind of.
Well, you do raise an interesting point, though, Pam, and we see in one of the Clone Wars episodes, and we saw this revisited early in the Bad Batch, where one of the clones had left the war and had married a Twi'lek and had a family.
Yeah.
So it is, they could have. We're taking this really deep into the weeds with it, but they could have had their own breeding program with those, as opposed to just making, Xerox copies, if you will, kind of maybe degrading the original. It could have kind of branched out a little bit.
Yeah.
But so it's interesting. I am curious if they'll tell us the time frame. How old do you guys think that Omega's character is? If they've said, forgive me for not remembering, how old is she? And let's think about, because we know that Jango only wanted Boba. So it wasn't like they took this sample from Jango. It wasn't like he wanted to have a daughter too. So how much of an age disparity do you think there is between Boba and Omega at this point?
Probably minimal would be my guess. Minimal would be my guess. She looks and acts like she's in the 10 to 12 year range. Would be my guess.
Yeah. I would think, but she's natural, right? She's not. They put her in the cooker and then popped her out as a 10-year-old. She's naturally 10, I think.
Right. There's no speeding up like Boba. She's sped up in her growth.
Right. I think she's just a natural preteen, or like what are they? Is that what they call them? Preteens, 10 to 12. I don't know. I don't have kids, so that cute age.
Right.
So yeah, that's why I think that she is. Because she's female, she may have some different characteristics that they could continue the line with. So it's like the new car upgrades. I mean, that's the way they kind of think of them. So it's kind of like, ugh, it's all kind of distasteful anyway. So, but yeah, so good episode. Do we have any other thoughts on it?
No.
Yeah. I mean, I wish it was an hour long,
Yeah.
as opposed to other things we watched tonight, which we'll talk about later, that are too long. But why don't we get into another shorter episode of Loki? Why don't we see a example of Loki?
Hey! Come any closer and I'll kill him.
Go for it.
What are you doing? You're trying to enchant me. It won't work.
Why? Because you're a magician.
No, because my mind is too strong. When you sing, she sings, come home. When you sing, she sings, come home. To Sylvie, everybody!
Awful fun.
Bye.
You idiot! This is momentous one!
I don't know what that means!
Right! Of all of the apocalypses saved on that temp, this is the worst! No one makes it off here! Watch out!
Oh, big ups to our clips guy. That was pretty cool. Set of clips there. And yeah, what did you guys think this week? Uh-oh.
Delightful. I loved it.
Oh, okay. I
mean,
thought there was a sigh of
No. I was just obviously we're making a turn. I kind of saw that the variant number 2, because Loki is the variant number 1. Variant number 2, I suspected that she was going to be the Enchantress, and instead she turns out to be a relative of the Enchantress, and based on what she named herself. Just FYI, if anybody's watching this and does not like spoilers, you were in the wrong place. Just FYI, because we don't talk about it.
Show comes on Wednesday, so
Yeah,
if you ain't
should've
seen it
watched
by
it first.
Saturday, I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know what to tell y'all either. But it was good to see. There was some interesting back and forth between the two variants there, I guess. I'm kind of curious to see where they go with it, because it was an Owen Wilson free episode. We didn't have him at all in it, so he's the other big name. So he's got to be coming back into it to kind of tie this all together, would be my guess. But it was really good, I thought.
And what are some of the things from the comics? Did you read this series from the comics?
I've read a lot of Thor, but I did not read the ones where Sylvie becomes I guess it's like not necessarily a new Avenger, but it's like like I said last week when we talked about this, that this was part of the period when I didn't have a lot of money, so I couldn't have.
No.
$8 worth of comics a month, which is
Yeah.
about what my current budget is. But it's like I said, she looked like the Enchantress the first time I saw her, which was an older, like I want to say a 70s, 80s comic version.
Okay.
This would have been like late, early, like into the golden age, I guess is what they call it, into the beginning of the modern age of comic books.
Okay.
She looked like the Enchantress, and I was like, oh, well, that's kind of cool, But and then I've read since then that there's after the point when I had kids for some reason, which was a terrible idea. Just kidding. It was definitely an expensive idea. So I had to pour a lot of money in them, so I couldn't buy comics. So I lost lost a lot of threads there for about 20 years, and then I've gotten back into them. So a lot of interesting stuff going on. Definitely, we're halfway through. That's episode 3 out of 6. So we're definitely on the closing arc of this story. So let's see where it goes. I mean, it was good though.
Yeah, David, what did you think?
Well, at this point, I will say it was good. I had to watch it like 4 times to actually like it.
Oh.
And I don't know if that's Stockholm syndrome, but it just felt like maybe I was being a little slow, I've got a puppy now, so I'm not sleeping the 8 hours that I need every night. So it's taking a little bit of time, but it seemed a little hard to kind of follow at the beginning, because I remember them getting on that. I remember at the end of last week, they went to that time portal, but going back and I think kind of talking a little bit about Sylvie's backstory to get to that point was a little tough for me, but I love the interaction between the two of them. The sing along on the train was a blast. Good. I thought that was fantastic. So it grew on me after I watched it a few times. I had to just really focus, but I thought this was well done. Again, I'll sound kind of like a broken record, but I loved the visuals, the background. This new world that we don't know really anything about. I just thought it was breathtaking. And I would bet if we saw a making of Loki, they probably used some very similar, might have even used the same soundstage as they did for The Mandalorian. And this kind of amazing technology where they've mixed in real things, 3-dimensional things, with kind of that curved green screen where they put these backgrounds in that really you feel like the characters are they're on location in some great place, whether it's this, like something that looks like New Mexico or Arizona, where they'd have all the craters and the desert. But I just thought it was beautifully done. And I like it. I can't believe there's only so few episodes for this, because not a huge Thor mythos guy, but I think but the cast, it's really working, really enjoying it. But it took me a little while. You had to grab me by the hand and pull me along a little bit for me to kind of fully get into it and appreciate it. But this was well done.
Yeah, and I take your point there, David, on the beauty of the scenery. That pink and lavender and light blue kind of background. It was like fairy colors to me. Yeah. But then you saw the contrast with the rockiness of the planet. I just was like, this is beautiful. So my lip sips and my nails are lamentous. So go along with it. But I also noticed that when they went to the city, that looked like the city from either Endgame or Infinity War. Kind of like where they were. It was the same kind of set, almost bright kind of colors, and it just reminded me of that. So I wondered if they kind of reused that set and incorporated that with it. And I didn't mind, because it was beautifully so bright and colorful. I thought there were a lot of interesting points in there that they've made that they kind of brought back, because they kind of slyly put in there that Loki probably goes both ways,
Yeah, pretty direct.
And
quite
I was
honestly.
like, oh, how lovely how they did that. I just thought that was very, sly. And I thought that it was also interesting when they showed Sylvie infiltrating the guard's mind
Yeah.
and how she was able to do that. And I think that's something that we're going to see Loki really trying to mess with her, because he just got her to reveal her power, under this guise. I figure he's the kind of person who they just keep asking questions in a nice way. You let your guard down, and eventually you told them everything, and then they stab you in the back.
Well, and how about the reveal? How about that big reveal that the Tennessee Valley Authority not honest with its employees? Because
that was a
Yeah, that was.
So
it's not all that it seems.
Yeah, so it made me wonder if this is like WandaVision when she, trapped that whole town into her world. If Kang the Conqueror, who we know is the next set of movies, has trapped the whole planet, at least Earth, or some in this kind of galactic fantasy. Mm-hmm. And Sylvie has somehow broken out of it and is trying to get to them to stop. So maybe she's not a bad guy as we think. So I thought that was possibly. I hope it's a great storyline. And it's not just jumping around like a flea between time, but that there is some kind of there's something going on that we don't know about. And they keep making the shot of the middle of the three, what are they called? The three super beings, timekeepers.
Timekeepers, yeah.
And who looks suspiciously like Jonathan Majors. So I'm like, oh, I wonder. But it was good to see also Ravonna Windslayer coming out like a G and getting ready to fight. And I was like, yes, fight scene. Because I was like, how do you rise up to be a judge? Huh?
And then no fight scene. Yes.
I know. I was like, I wanted to see her fight or like wield that eraser thing and like
the melt stick is what I call it.
Yeah, the melt stick.
Melt stick Ragnarok, but yes.
And I wonder if the melt stick is a melt stick, or does it just displace you in time? Or does it remove you from the fantasy? So I was like, this is interesting. So now it got me to thinking a lot in this episode, kind of about where we're going, and if it is all a big dream and it's somebody's dream, or if it's more sinister that someone has entrapped, people into this fantasy while they're taking over the world. So it's interesting. It's very interesting. So,
but time travel, oh my god. Oh wait, just kidding.
I'm hoping it's a fantasy and not straight time travel. Ugh. And that will redeem it for me. Because Lamentus is because so one thing, this is why I don't like time travel. So one thing that they said, I know, right? It's number 72.
I think we're at 74, by the way.
It's 72. I keep track. So but that when they said that they had to take the Ark to get off the world, and then the Ark wasn't able to get off the world, and that's how the people died. And then Loki said that, but we're not on that. We're on it. We could get on it, and that could, you know. But then I was thinking, wouldn't that change everything if they were able to get the arc off? See, it's stuff
Yes,
like
it
that
would.
that's very confusing, and it's just ugh.
It would
time
have created a
travel.
whole lot more variance if that's the accurate world there. So
Right.
I think it's kind
right.
of a
It was,
good plan to try and do that myself. So I thought
right.
that
Because
was
then I
pretty
wondered,
intelligent.
did everybody on lament? So there's no more lamentations. There's no more. There's no more lamentins. I don't know what they're called themselves.
Lamentations.
Yeah,
Lamentian.
the crying.
That sounds like a new
game, I don't
breath
know.
mint. The
You know?
Lamentians.
It's so cold.
Our
when
new
they
sponsor
cry.
for PJamma Life, Lamentians.
Right. So that's why I was like, are there any more left in the world, or did they all die off, or was it like when Vulcan got destroyed and there were only a few, you know,
That didn't happen.
of the Spock
That
people
didn't
left?
happen. The J.J.
Ow.
Abrams thing you're talking about, now that's time
The
travel
Vulcans.
gone amok. That was horrible.
Yeah.
That's retconning the worst. We don't want to talk about that.
It's like,
Yeah,
I can't
so-
write this story because I don't want to read all the history, so I'm just going to just mush it up.
Yeah.
Boo,
Yeah.
JJ.
Yeah. Time travel. So, that's enough of that. But definitely go and check out Loki this week. It's a shorter episode. It's like 10 minutes shorter than the rest of them were. So, and I felt like they could have used that 10 minutes to, I hope they added in to later episodes so we get more explanation about what's going on. I mean, I think with WandaVision, by the third episode, you were just like, wow, this is so cool. This one, you still are trying to figure out what's going on, and you're halfway
Oh,
through.
yeah.
Yeah, you really are.
So, yeah, that's because it's time travel. Moving on, we will now go to this one made me have the lamentations of sadness. On our next clip of Army of the Dead. Let's check it out.
It's not every man who saves the Secretary of Defense from a horde of flesh-eating monsters, earns the Medal of Freedom, only to end up
Working at a burger joint.
Here's the thing. There's $200 million in the basement vault beneath the strip. $200 million the insurance company already reimbursed me for. I want you to put together a team and get it out. In exchange, $50 million is yours to divvy up amongst whomever you take in with you.
Oh, God. What do y'all take it? Because,
Well, I want to say this. It's still better than Mortal Kombat. Still better than Fantasy Island.
Absolutely not. Absolutely
Still better than
not.
Fantasy Island.
No,
You,
wrong.
in this case, Pam, are wrong. It was a decent
my
zombie.
gosh.
It was a zombie flick. I mean,
Oh, come on, man.
it wasn't bad. I mean, it wasn't
It
terrible.
was terrible. Yeah, it wasn't bad.
No.
It was
No,
terrible.
it wasn't Mortal
No, it was
Kombat
a
terrible.
pile of crap.
It was definitely not Fantasy Island terrible. It was bad.
It was worse.
No.
This is
Wrong.
for me one of
Pam,
the worst movies of the year so far.
Oh no, Pam. I got where you're at. I know where I'm at. I mean, it wasn't as bad as it wasn't great. Yeah, no, it wasn't. On a scale of 1 to 10, it was a 5. Yeah, I get that.
We're all over the spectrum, guys. I mean,
Oh,
Dave,
my
where
God.
are you at on this?
City, gonna set my soul
You just
on
liked it
fire.
for the Elvis zombies.
I loved this movie.
Oh
Thank
my
you,
God,
David. Thank you, David.
It
was definitely better than others.
This is so much better than Mortal
Oh,
Kombat.
no,
I
David.
love this movie.
Yes.
I thought this was so fun.
Oh no.
You had
Oh,
so many
no.
combinations of genres. You had the heist movie, so it harkened
Yeah.
to like Ocean's 11.
Yeah.
The
No.
group,
Oh
you
my
know, like
God.
Seven Samurai, you know,
Yes.
This is
Magnificent
terrible.
Seven dudes. Then you had, you
Ah.
know, Night of the Living Dead. You had all of this, and then
No.
like the father-daughter reunited, like Golden Pond. It had everything.
Well,
in it.
maybe not
Oh
quite
my
that much, but yeah, it
God.
was in that
Yeah,
way. But
it tried to be every one of those movies, and it should have just been one movie.
I
And it
think
was
it works.
did all of them horrible.
Dave,
You gotta be crazy.
Dave, you've
Oh my
convinced me. Dave, you've convinced me. It was better than I thought it was, perhaps.
No.
The music, the way it opened
Yeah.
with the soldiers talking
They-
about
they-
what
they-
they were
they-
It's
bringing
a
from
2
Area
out of
51.
10 at most.
Now,
It is
Uh,
just okay. Let me
now,
tell you
Pam.
why I think it's terrible.
Pam.
okay,
Okay, the thing
Tell me.
that saved
Okay,
it from 0 or 1 were that some of the visuals were beautiful. You know, Zack Snyder knows how to, you know, have really pretty shots. He uses kind of the same filters a lot, but some of the shots were really pretty, I thought. You know, okay. That saved 1 point. That's 1
Okay.
point. The second part was I was rooting for the zombies to kill them all. And so at some point I was like, I hate every one of these characters. They're all awful. And especially the daughter, I was hoping one of them would bite her and then the whole horde would just attack her and eat her. And then she would become a zombie and then the father would have to kill her again. I was hoping, because I just couldn't stand her character. It was the worst bratty person in the history of zombie movie. She was just awful. And I guess I liked, well, I always liked the guy who plays Tanaka. I love him and everything.
Yeah.
And Dave Bautista, I love him and everything. And I thought, now see, here's the problem. That what's his name? Zack Snyder does not know how to edit himself. And he's either got too much power or too much control that nobody edits his. He wrote it. It definitely needed to be 50 to 100 pages less. He directed it. It definitely needed to be cut longer. He produced it. And so nobody could then tell him what to do. And it needed to be trimmed about 45 minutes. It was entirely too long.
It was a little
2
long.
hours and 24 minutes.
Yeah, it was
That's
long.
It was a little long.
ridiculous.
That's one of the.
It's
You're
just-
right. It is too long. That's a negative about it. They spent a lot of time developing, like
characters made
bringing
no
the team
sense.
together.
The deaths
Yeah.
made no sense. At any point, none of those people had to die. With one of them, they just sat around while she got bitten and they just kind of all watched her get bitten. And I was like, what the? And then when the guy threw the guy into the vault and then he kind of was shutting, I was like, well, just get in with him. I mean, it just made the stuff they did just didn't make sense. This is one of the worst movies of the year. Now, if you're drunk or high, it might seem
Well,
like
I don't think I
fun,
was either, but my
or
American Dodgeball Association of America
Yeah.
random drug test hasn't come back yet. But
it
man, I
was
love
just a
it.
hot. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Tig Notaro had to come in. They shot all of her scenes separately. This is how terrible it was. They had to do her
No,
stuff
it wasn't this. It was this. Hang on.
But the
Hang
reason
on.
is Chris D'Elia got put off the film because of charges of his misconduct. I think he had like molestation or sexual harassment.
Yeah,
at least sexual harassment, if not like attempted rape
He
or
got
something.
me too'd. Yeah.
Well, no, he got charges of
Yeah.
sexual
And so they brought
misconduct.
a wonderful actress in at great expense, and she was probably one of the best parts in the movie, to be honest.
Yeah,
Tig
that
Notaro
was the
was
other thing
him.
that kind of her scenes but you could tell where they spliced them in, so they didn't kind of do
Which I
it.
thought was witty. That was great use of technology to make. I mean, you could have done this 20 years ago, but Okay, I see what your complaints are. I hear you, but compared to Mortal Kombat, I'd watch this 10 times. I'd watch this 10 times before Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
I'd watch this 20 times before Fantasy Island, which we reviewed. That was
Wrong.
horrible. Oh, you were wrong, and I think Dave is on my side on this one. So 2-1. Let's just do the math.
I love
Let's do the math. Do the
Yeah.
math.
Who knew that it would be Mortal
Okay,
Kombat
David,
and
what was
Army
your
of the Dead
favorite
that would
part?
bring us into conflict?
What was your favorite part, David, of the show, of this movie that just made it amazing for you?
Well, again, I mean, it's not in my top 5 movies of all time, but I thought the beginning of how you had the soldiers talking about what they were carrying, I thought that was great. I thought the Liberace impersonator playing the piano as the zombies were going, I just thought it was really well done. They showed like the whole Battle of Las Vegas in the opening credits that really, I thought, set the stage. That to me was pretty novel. You got the whole story right there. It was a little long. I thought Dave Bautista showed he could like take a movie and lead it. This was a fun movie for me. So, and then you had the super zombies, like this. That was pretty wild with the tiger.
That was pretty awesome.
With the cape, he was Superman in a cape.
I just thought it was fun. Again, this genre has done so many things.
Superman, come on.
I just really liked it. I thought this was smart and fun.
Zombie? Oh, come on.
I mean,
with the baby, with the zombie baby. Come on.
Well, we've seen that before in flicks.
Oh.
Yeah.
We've seen the zombie babies a lot, zombie kids.
Oh,
I just thought it was fun. I'm not a zombie fan, not
Me
a zombie
neither.
fan, but
Definitely not after this.
It was a fun movie. I thought it was smart.
Smart.
It was smart. I thought the opening was smart, and it was a little long, but I thought it was
sharp.
It was sharp,
right?
Sharp. What level was
as
this?
Far as it was witty. It was witty. It was engaging for a zombie movie. I mean, it's a genre which has only like so many outcomes, and I mean, to do it to make it entertaining is sharp to me. You know, everybody's. I mean, shit. They made TV series that lasted for 10 seasons about this, which is basically a soap opera with zombies. By the way, just a side note there on all the Walking Dead crap.
There's 3 spinoffs or something?
2, I think. Like 2 plus the original. But anyway, I'm just saying it wasn't great. It was pretty good though. I mean, it wasn't bad. I didn't feel like I'd lost
I lost brain cells and I lost time of my life that I can't get back watching it. Now,
that's how we feel about Mortal Kombat, and we love you to death.
Right, that was the answer I was going to go with, Dave. Thank you for saying what needed to be said. Thank you for saying what needed to be said.
But I just feel like it's this self-indulgent crap from Zack Snyder that you keep getting from him that nobody tells him, dude, come on. We got to cut this shit down. It's ridiculous. Nobody is saying that. And the Emperor has no clothes. Can he please? Zack Snyder, listen, baby, booby, pal, please cut your movies by 15 or 20 minutes and you will have better movies and people will go see them. This is from me. I love you, babe. Just cut down.
Zach, I don't know who you are. You take off 20 minutes and it still was really darn fun. And was better than an Angelina Jolie movie.
Much more.
Better than Mortal Kombat.
I did appreciate the zombie film trope of leaving a truck size opening at the end to drive another sequel through it just in case. That is really great. I mean, that's just smart. It's just smart business. Congratulations to you guys for thinking that out. But as far as zombie movies, it was better than World War Z. Way better than World War Z. It was okay. Yeah, okay. It was okay. The book was much better.
Yeah.
But I mean, it wasn't bad. I mean, but this one was fun. It was what it was supposed to be. It was a fun zombie movie. It wasn't supposed to be deep thought, inducing, or it wasn't supposed to make you think deeply about the world's condition or any kind of crap. It was just a fun heist movie with a zombie setting.
It's not Tolstoy zombie, but it's a zombie.
It was a Mortal Kombat zombie.
It felt like Tolstoy having to sit 2.5 hours on the same damn thing. How many times are they going to shoot a zombie in the head? It was just insane.
Well, if you don't shoot a zombie in the head, you're in for a bad day. I mean, that's kind of
we got one major boo, yet none, 0 stars, 2 out of 10 rate, whatever other kind of rating there is. I give it the finger.
You should put a disclaimer on since we disagree with you. Some of the commentators on PJamma Live do not agree with PJamma Live.
You know, I get how guys like it. I mean, it's kind of
whoa, this is not a guy thing. Hold on now.
It's a kind of a guy thing. Now. You know, you got This is what it reminded me of. It reminded me of a live action video game. So it was kind of like first they going around shooting things, pow, 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 pow. And that was pretty much the movie. I mean, it just looked like a video game coming to life. And it just could have been better. That's just, he's super talented. So I just need him to do better. That's it. Right. I need him to do better.
There we go.
Sure. Could have been better, but it wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad.
No.
Yeah. You're right. It wasn't bad. It was terrible. So that is what we have for this week.
I've never found that. Oh, God. All right, I had something else right there. Fantasy Island. Fantasy Island.
I almost wore zombie makeup tonight. That's how much fun I had watching this play.
There you go. And embrace it, baby.
Oh, yeah. So that is it. Is there any final on Loki or Bad Batch? Okay, so next week, our buddy Pat will be away having happy fun times, and I don't know why he doesn't bring the missus and have happy fun times with us, but that's okay. But next week we will have Loki, the Bad Batch, and I guess people, we will have the Tomorrow War starring Chris Pratt. I'm being tortured this summer with a rash of time travel movies. But hopefully, I have hope that this one will be better than what we've seen so far. So, I hold out hope. Hope springs eternal. So, that's what we're going to check out next week. And then later on in the month, we're going to have Gunpowder Milkshake. We're going to watch and Never Have I Ever on Netflix. Both of those are on Netflix. And the new, I think it's on HBO Max. Coming up, we'll be watching Space Jam, a new legacy that'll come out, I think, July 24th. So we will review that. So, hey, fellas, do you want to say any final goodbyes to the people?
I do. As a one thing on Disney Plus, they have just this last week. You can watch one of the very first Star Wars cartoons of a show, the Star Wars Droids cartoons. So Ewoks is on there, but Star Wars Droids with C-3PO and R2-D2 are there. It's not the same quality of, say, the Clone Wars or Bad Batch, but it's fun. This was set up for Saturday morning. You can also hear some things if you watch it. There's some Easter eggs, some names and terms that Lucas used in the prequels and that have found their way into the sequels. So enjoy that.
Okay.
Anthony Daniels, the only Star Wars person to be in virtually in all of them, the movies, in the radio shows, in all the films, and in the Star Wars Droids cartoon reprising the role of C-3PO. Check out Star Wars Droids and beware of Cease Tig from the bad guys. It's going to be fun.
Ooh. Boo! All right. All right. Good tip. Hey, Pat.
I would. I will not be here next week, as Pamela said. I would tell everybody to be watching their HBO Max also, because Suicide Squad is going to be released on HBO Max at the same time it is in the theaters, and that looks like it could be quite interesting. And even though I'm a hardcore Marvel guy, I am interested to see Peter Capaldi, specifically, who I love as the Doctor. He's going to be in it. There's going to be a lot of really interesting people in that. Looks like it's a better version than perhaps the first Suicide Squad they released. I don't know. We'll see. We'll just give it a shot. But I'm excited about that. I think that'll be in the next 2 weeks. So be watching that.
Okay.
Other than that, you guys all have a great time when I'm not here. But you guys can talk about how terrible. Pam will be talking about how terrible time travel is and how horrible that movie was. But she'll be loving Mortal Kombat, which was an absolute turd sandwich. So there we go.
Oh. Okay, see, I was going to say something nice about you being away
Nice,
and how much we'll miss you, but now take your ass off.
Oh, wow.
I don't think we can do better than turd sandwich, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, there we go.
Soggy turd sandwich.
Oh, please. You and your poop
even better.
Cupcakes can go with your time travel crap.
It sounds more appealing than soggy turd sandwich. I'm just saying.
Oh, yuck. So, but this is it for us. We will say goodbye. Remember, there's still coronavirus out there, and the Delta variant is spreading. So still remember to get your vaccine so that we can help stop it. And as well, make sure that you wear a mask, that you wash your hands still, keep social distancing, make sure you're not putting yourself in jeopardy. And most importantly, treat each other with kindness. And if you can't, then go sit by yourself in a room and time yourself out until you can.
There you go.
But good night, and we'll see you next week on PJamma Live. And subscribe to our page. And we will see you next week. Bye.
So long, everybody.
Oh.
Awesome way to go.